All right, please welcome to LIV Golf Dallas Media Center, the Legion XIII team with Captain Jon Rahm and his teammates Tyrrell Hatton, Caleb Surratt, and Tom McKibbin. So, guys, you currently lead the team point standings after 8 events, having won twice this season along with a couple of second-place finishes. Jon and Tyrrell, you guys come off top 10s at the U.S. Open. That makes you the first set of LIV Golf teammates to finish top 10 in the same major. Jon, you were the clubhouse leader for a long time, 4 hours or so, and you stuck around to greet Tyrrell after his round. What are your takeaways from Oakmont, both from your own performance and then watching your teammate in the mix down the stretch?
I mean, there's nothing but a good week. Extremely difficult golf course, extremely penalizing anytime you make a mistake, and finishing top 10 is always going to be a good week. Very happy to shoot under par twice. This is too bad Friday cost me a little bit too much. And I would say as far as the week goes or the ending, I think the score doesn't always reflect the truth, right? Like you said, I played Sunday with barely any pressure, so I could afford to take some risks and posted a score and never had to deal with the nerves or intensity that Tyrrell had, right? So playing that golf course under those circumstances is much different than if you go 5 hours before, right? So I would say it's not comparable. He played fantastic golf, and honestly, it was pretty apparent to me I wasn't going to win it. I mean, there was too many good players, and somebody was going to post a lower score, but it's one of those things where you have to stick around just in case, and obviously I was also staying around hoping that Tyrrell would win it, right? Which it is unfortunate that such a good week for him came down to arguably one of the unluckiest breaks I've seen in golf, for his drive in 17 to land on such a severe downslope in the rough and not even move 2 feet forward in the bunker. It's a big difference, right? And there's no guarantee any time of winning, but if that ball would have been in the bunker, he definitely would have had a much better chance of giving it a go. So happy for him, happy to play great, and if he keeps playing this good in majors, at this point it's just a matter of time of one coming. So hoping that happens.
Tyrrell, you were obviously disappointed at the time, but have you had a chance to step back, get some perspective on the positives that happened to you this week or that week?
Yeah, there was a lot of positives. That was my first time coming down the stretch in a major and having the chance to potentially go on and win. And yeah, ultimately it didn't work out for me. It was a tough break on 17, which is just unfortunate timing in the tournament. I can deal with making bogey on 18 because I didn't hit a great tee shot there, and that's just kind of one of those things that happens. But it was nice to finally have that feeling of having a chance to win, to be honest. I think that was my 41st or 42nd major, so it's fair to say that I've had enough experience now. And yeah, golf's a stupid game. Like, I didn't do anything different. I didn't try any harder or anything like that. I happened to play well that week, and I've proven in the past that if I play well on a given week, wherever I'm playing, I'll give myself a chance to win the tournament.
What was it like to have Jon waiting there for you after your round? That seems to really epitomize the team spirit of Legion XIII.
Yeah, it was great. I really appreciated Jon. I mean, I know he had another reason to hang around as well. But no, it was nice to see Jon after the round, and yeah, he said some nice words to me, which meant a lot, and yeah, I appreciated that.
So Caleb, you're currently leading the league in putting. How many times a day do you remind the other teammates of that fact?
Say it again, sorry?
You currently lead the league in putting this year. How many times a day do you tell the other guys about that?
Not much. No. I'm focusing on hitting more greens so I can hopefully maintain that putting average, but doing it, hitting more greens. That's my big goal right now. So, no, I don't brag about it too much.
How would you say your form has been this season?
Yeah, it's been tough. I think I've put myself in a position that I've wanted to a lot more often. The start of tournaments, in Mexico and down the stretch, having a decent chance on the back nine, and then starting the week off nicely in Korea. There's times where I feel like, and even the first event in Riyadh, where I've gotten off playing really how I want to, been in the right headspace, and just kind of hit a few unfortunate roadblocks here and there. And, I just know that if I keep doing the right stuff and continue to try and make it more simple for me, I'm going to continue to get to where I want to be. It feels like I've definitely underachieved to my standards of what I want, but at the same time, I think I'm starting to learn that maybe trying a little too hard and wanting it yesterday could be what's holding me back a little bit. So honestly, just trying to realize where I am, realize 3 years ago in my life I would have killed to be in the position I'm in now, and just, start looking at it that way, not putting any pressure on myself, and just go being me, because I know that that's more than good enough.
So last week you were in Chicago, and you said skill will never overpower your mentality. And you said you learned that from Jon. Can you expand on that and the benefits of working with Jon and Tyrrell?
Yeah, I don't know. I think, we've talked about, mindset a little bit, right? And it feels like being in the right frame of mind, focused on the right things, is so much more important than your skill set, right? I think it doesn't really matter how great you're necessarily doing things, right, technically, if you're not in the right headspace. So, I think that's something that all great players know and do very well.
So Tom, you're about to start your 9th tournament since joining LIV Golf. How would you evaluate your season to date, and how much fun have you had so far?
It's been a little bit up and down. I played pretty nice at the start of the year up until Miami, and then sort of since then I haven't really scored too well. I've struggled a little bit sort of getting off to a good start, and I've played sort of a little bit nicer as the weeks went on. But the game sort of feels quite nice, and it feels like it's been quite similar throughout the year. I just haven't really scored as good the last couple of events, but I've had a lot of fun this year. It's been a whole different experience for me, and something that I've enjoyed a lot, and really looking forward to these last 6 events of the year and seeing what can happen there.
And I was looking at the numbers. You guys are killing it in the second round. You're about 25 strokes better than anybody else in the league. Is there a reason why round 2 has been so productive for you guys? Anybody?
I would say mainly because, especially the last few weeks, I think overall we've struggled in round 1. So I think, too, you just see a bit of that bounce back, putting ourselves back in position. That being the main reason, I would say. Nothing special over Saturdays, right? It's just, I think, none of us are played our best on a Friday. And the next day you see a bit of a reaction of wanting to be in that position.
All right, we'll open it up for questions. Matt, over here.
Jon, so you've had a good season in terms of ball striking. Results are all great. What would need to happen for you over the last 2 months for you to consider this to be a successful season in your career?
It's always a tricky answer, but I would expect to win at least one and give myself a chance for the individual title. But with Joaquin winning 4 times, I'm going to need a good effort down the stretch this year. So I was closer when I did it last year. This year it's going to be a little bit harder. So at this point, I would say get myself actually with a chance to win going to the last 9 holes on Sunday, not an outside chance 3 to 4 shots back, and then hopefully get it done once or more times if possible.
looking a little bit ahead, kind of to the Open Championship, where you've won twice on Irish Links courses. Do you think that's a course and a setup that should suit you?
I like Royal Portrush. Last Open there, I did well. I played a British Am there and had nothing but a good experience. It's a bit of a unique links because you don't usually have elevation changes in links golf, and it's not that it's massive, but that first hole you have anywhere between a wedge to a 7-iron with a massive upslope and massive crosswinds. That's not something you usually see, right? The fifth hole severely downhill, even the seventh going down and up is not something you usually see. And then 16, 17, 18 with like having to go over cliffs and fall-offs and elevation changes. It's not something you usually get to practice in links golf, right? Usually it's perfectly flat, and that's not. It's other elements to worry about. So that's what makes Portrush, to me, a little bit more special. It's a fantastic golf course where, like every other major, you have to do everything well, right? And I've been lucky enough to play well in Ireland and Northern Ireland, so I'm hoping that can carry on over into a major championship as well.
Thanks.
James with KSWO.
Yeah, this is for Jon and Tyrrell. Y'all finished both in the top 10 at the U.S. Open. Given this is a couple weeks out, how do you capitalize on the momentum of that tournament?
I mean, I'd say even though we've had a week off since then, at this point in the season, for me anyway, I had Monday and Tuesday off, and then I was hitting balls again from Wednesday, and just try and keep the same feelings that I had at the US Open that worked well, and certain things in my swing that we'd seen in the build-up to that we were trying to make a little bit better, and just trying to keep grooving that. And I played a couple of rounds at home last week and felt like I generally hit the ball pretty nicely. The thing for me is if I feel in a comfortable space, I just want to keep doing it regularly. I'm not the kind of player that can have a bunch of time off and just go straight back into it and all is well. So I guess little and often is the way forward for me. But we'll see how I go this week, trying to maintain the same feelings from the US Open and last week practicing, and like always, we'll try our best.
And then for Tom and Caleb, kind of what is your initial thoughts on the course? What are you guys seeing? And obviously the heat's going to be somewhat of a factor because it's going to be about 100 degrees. How do you all adjust to that?
Yeah, it's really good. I'd say it's perfectly maintained. I've actually spent a decent amount of time here in the past, and this is definitely the best I've seen it. After the first look yesterday, I definitely think it'd be pretty tough. Good challenge. You got to leave it in the right spots and be aggressive when you get the chances. So pumped for the go at it.
Yeah, very similar to what Caleb said. It's in perfect condition. Greens are really nice. Fairways are nice to hit off. I'd been here once before a long time ago, and I remember how hard it was. And yesterday playing 9 holes definitely reminded me that it's going to be a good test of golf this week, and something that I think we're all looking very, very forward to.
All right, Art Strickland.
Hey, Jon, you've been in the game a long time, and you know kind of the value of personal relationships with people and sponsors and everything like that. Can the personal relationship that Scott O'Neill has with the new tour CEO, Brian Eliasmith, the relationship going back to business, can that help the two tours, the fact that those two guys have a relationship of some sort?
I feel like that's a question for obviously both the CEOs, right? Whatever I say is speculation. It's not what they know. I would hope that them having a close relationship from the past should help facilitate at least the dialogue between them two. But at the end of the day, it's not just up to them, right? There's also people behind them and higher up than them that would ultimately make the decision. So things are never as simple as they seem, right? So, but I would like to be positive about it, and I think that would help it out.
All right. I have one last question for Jon. We just released the Duels Virginia earlier this week. Wanted to get your thoughts on that, as well as the secret to changing Phil's rangefinder.
The secret?
Yes.
I'm amazed that he's been in golf for this long and he has no idea how to change it from yards to meters or anything at all. Well, the whole thing, I mean, he kind of started it, right? He did it to Grant on a video, which I don't know how he did it because he has no idea how to change it himself. And then Josh did it when we did the 2v2, and then from then on, I figured it would just be a fun one. And because I changed Phil's rangefinder, I changed Grant's, I changed George Bryan's, but George caught on really quickly after that happened, and then I changed 4 that day. But not all of them would work because FP and Henrik were paired together, and I believe Henrik still does meters, so he would have been able to tell you, hey, that's wrong, right? And there can't be a GPS. If there's a GPS, they can just look at it and find out that something's off. So yeah, just try to find, try to be sneaky about it whenever they're not looking. But I think my chances are up. I think everybody now is going to be looking after it, and it's not going to happen again. So I'm going to have to come up with something else. And it can't be too invasive, right? Like the next idea I had, which is the easiest thing, would be changing the driver setup. You can easily go with the wrench, change it, and put it back and affect somebody pretty badly. But if I do it to a pro, it could mess them up for the whole week, and I don't want to do that. And if you do it to the wrong pro, even as though it's fun and games, it would be bad. So I need to find something else to just have a little bit of lighthearted fun.
Did you enjoy it?
Huh?
Did you enjoy
Yeah, of course. It's a lot of fun. It's fun to be a part of. It's a bit of competition before the tournament, which will never hurt, right, to practice in actual competition when there's something on the line, even though it's a scramble. I enjoy it. I think it's something outside the ordinary, and I think it's good for the viewership. It's good to grow the game. And, I've spent quite a bit of time with some of the YouTubers. They're all great golfers in their own right and a lot of fun to be around. So I think it's, at least for me personally, bringing another positive aspect to the game.
Tyrrell, have you ever changed anybody's rangefinder?
I haven't needed to, no. So I wouldn't be thinking that far ahead, if I'm honest.
All right. One last question. Trey Schapp.
Tyrrell, obviously amateur golfers saw what you went through on the 17th hole. How would you speak to them and junior golfers about how to put that behind you on the biggest stage in the world?
You've probably asked the wrong person out of the 4 that are sat up here.
I was going to say there's 2 of us that shouldn't answer that question.
Yeah, I don't know how to answer that, if I'm honest. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, I think that's it. We appreciate the time, guys. Thank you. Good luck this week.